Jermaine Fowler joins me in Studio Q. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A lot of your comedy draws on your family, like what we just heard there.
Yeah.
How do they feel about you having some fun with them?
Oh, they hate it. No, they didn't like it at first. My father, 2006 is when I kind of started, and that was when MySpace was huge. And I had these videos of, about jokes of my dad growing up and stuff. And he didn't understand, like, it was like first year doing comedy, and he didn't understand like where, how I drew my comedy from. And it was all jokes, So I had a joke with my dad, and he hated it. So he MySpace messaged me like, "Hey, can you take that joke off, MySpace, man? Cause got a new job. You know what I mean? I don't want them seeing that. I ain't trying to get fired." And I was like, they ain't going on MySpace to see your son, make fun of you, man. They didn't understand at first, and like when they finally saw me, like, getting a name out there, they understood. Oh, this is our fault.
It's so interesting to me that the person that did understand was your grandmother.
Yeah. She was the first person to really she had my back when I first started. My dad didn't understand. He kicked me out when I was like 18 years old, and and I had nowhere to go. So the first thing I did was go see King Kong by Peter Jackson. Good movie, underrated. 3 hours of straight up monkey, and I literally didn't know where I was going. And I text my grandma. Grandma, like, "Hey, baby, I don't know where I'm going. My dad kicked me out. Can I stay with you?" She goes, "Yeah." So at the time, I was like, I was going to community college, right? And I didn't want to be there. I only went because I thought you had to go to college. I know what to do. And so my aunt paid for the classes and stuff. And while I was in there, I was just writing jokes the entire time. And my grandma finally told me, "Listen, go, do what you want to do. Go listen to Mom's Mabley and Red Fox. They're my favorite comics. And if you want to do this, really go at it and really do it." And she gave me the space to figure life out. And I'm happy she did that. And I just dropped out of college and just went 100%, just went at, stand up, and I didn't look back. It was the best decision I've ever made. It was, living with my grandma at the time.
And your grandmother introduces you in your new stand-up special.
Yeah, because like
what
no
did that
one,
mean to you?
It meant the world, because a lot of comics, they'll have somebody introduce them, and it's either a stand-up or a host from the club or a manager or whatever. And with all due respect, I appreciate those people, but it was like my first special. I'm not having some dude, that's known me like 2 years or maybe even less introduce me. It meant more for my grandma to do it, because who else could do that? You know what I mean? So she didn't know she was doing it, by the way. She didn't know. I texted her like that night, like, "Hey, Grandma, what you doing tonight?" "I'm coming to see you." "Good. You you gonna get on stage and introduce me?" Oh my God! And she had she had stage fright and all that stuff. She didn't know she was being introduced, and I was afraid for her to introduce me because she dresses pretty cool, like
That was my next comment to you. Was that's a cool looking.
Yeah, my grandma's
grandmother.
really young. She's a really young family, and I was afraid Black Twitter would go at her. You know what I mean? I thought they were, because she had like a Van Helsing hat and red boots, and I'm like, I liked it a lot, and I wasn't sure how Black Twitter would handle it. Like, oh look, memes like Black Van Helsing filming in DC. I didn't know that. I thought that would happen, but it didn't. So thank God people understood there was a bigger picture.
In the pilot you made for ABC this year, Whoopi Goldberg plays your grandmother. How did you feel about that?
The thing was like, Whoopi was my first choice, and I didn't know how she'd feel about the script. You know what I mean? I wrote the script with a buddy of mine, Danny Chun, who writes for ABC, and Whoopi was our first choice. And it's Whoopi Goldberg. We didn't know how she would feel about it.
But how did your grandmother feel about being
Whoopi
played?
Well, it was weird because growing up, Grandma would have a bunch of like Whoopi movies in the house, like Serafina. And like she did, y'all probably thought I would say Sister Act.
I forgot about Serafina.
Everybody forgets about Serafina, all right? And she did it. My grandma's a good person, all right? Serafina, underrated VHS tape, and she had that on the shelf, and I never watched it. It looked stupid. I didn't watch it, all right? It looked like, that was a documentary about, I don't know what I thought it was. So I remember that was like a thing my grandma loved, and I was like, it must be so full circle for her to see Whoopi play her in this pilot and stuff. And the pilot's hilarious. It didn't get picked up, obviously, but it's hilarious, you know what I mean? But I'm just appreciative Whoopi wanted to do it.
You were born in Washington, D.C. to teenage parents who split up. What was life like for you as a kid?
As a kid, nothing could hurt me when I was a kid, no matter what was going on. Parents always arguing, people calling me a white boy because I skateboarded and stuff like that. I didn't care. I was like, looking to the future. So I was a progressive 8-year-old. Anyway, I remember, I would just go to the woods all the time and collect bugs. My dad thought I was gay, all that stuff like that. That's what you think when you're, a black dad, something wrong with my kid. He might be gay, collecting daddy long legs. That's what he thought. It's the truth. Thank you, drummer. All right, cool. Anyway, that's the truth. That really is the truth. And I was just a weird kid, man. I was into everything. So my mom would buy me like microscope sets, and I would like look at amoebas and like. Anyway, I can go all day about this. So I used to want to be a scientist. You know what I mean? And my dad used to box, and he taught me how to box, and I was like 4. So I was into everything. I was into boxing,
Boxing
science.
when you were 4?
Yeah. My dad was a lunatic. He used to have like he used to like chicken fights where like a bunch of like Hispanic dudes would have chickens in the backyard and have them kill each other. So my dad would have like 4-year-old kids box each other and put gloves on these kids' hands, and whoever would win get the money. So that was what my dad did. He had like underground baby fighting ring. And I probably shouldn't say this, but he might get arrested. But I'm dead serious, and this might be
I
the
hope
next
he's
special.
secure in his job right now.
No, he's not. So that's good. That's a good thing. He can't get fired from a job he don't like. Anyway, he literally used to have us. He used to have us fight with these gloves on. I would always win because I was the bigger kid out of all the kids. You know what I mean?
Out of all the babies.
Yeah, because I grew faster than a lot of people. As a child. So like, I was like his. I only seen Jet Li and Unleashed, but I was like his number one. Anyway,
why is your early life so ripe for comedy? Is it just because of these stories, or is there something about early life in general that is funny?
Everybody has an interest in life. You do. Everybody here has an interest in life. I think with me, it's like I actually embrace it, and I don't really. I see it as all comedy. Some people are afraid to talk about certain things and stuff, and not afraid, just uncomfortable probably. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of my friends who are in comedy have a way crazier life than I do, but they just haven't cornered it yet. And when they do, they'll be way. They'll be. I'd love to see that. You know what I mean? I always tell my friends like, why don't you talk about that on stage? I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know, so like I'm like one of those guys who like I don't care. I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy and like Richard Pryor and all those guys, and they always use their pain as like a source for comedy.
Was it like that from jump for you?
Yeah. Yeah, my parents always fought, and I was a very unselfish kid, so I would like find ways to make my brothers and sister laugh when I was at night. So you could hear my parents arguing and stuff. So I would like put on little plays for my brothers and sisters and stuff, like shadow puppets and stuff like that for my little sister. And like it was just like one of those things. Like that's all we had. It was like just each other and just comedy. So that's why I still have that mentality today.
You brought up Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. You brought up Red Fox.
Yeah, Moms Mabley, all those people.
Who else are your comedy role models?
Right now, Patrice, rest in peace, Bill Burr, and Patton Oswalt growing up, Mike Birbiglia, Russ Maneve, the whole Cringe Humor crew, all those guys. And right now, I love watching Mike Vecchione, and I love Nick Griffin and Todd Barry, all those guys. I'm a big sponge. I believe you can learn from everybody. Marina Franklin, I love watching all of them. They're everyone's style is so different. I don't feel like you should be into one thing. When I was a kid, I used to watch Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
Daffy Duck is my favorite cartoon character. He's probably the reason why I got into in comedy in general. I'm dead serious, yeah. Yeah, Daffy Duck. Yeah, he's the funniest person of all time. He's dead serious. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm dead serious. Yeah.
I've never heard that trajectory before, from Daffy Duck to stand-up.
I'm dead serious. Well, Dave Chappelle talks about how Bugs Bunny was his first like love, and when he fell in love with comedy, because you can see that too when he was young. You can see like Dave Chappelle would have these buck teeth. And he would do comedy like when he was 19 or 15 or whatever. I remember watching him at Def Comedy Jam. His teeth would always buck. I don't know if he did it because he was so into Bugs Bunny or not, but that's the truth. Like
I'm actually seeing that now.
Yeah, it's the truth. That's how I figured that out. When I was young, I was like, oh, so I guess cartoons are.
And you have influences outside of comedy as well. You're big into film.
Yeah.
You're a fan of music,
Huge.
90s music.
All of it. Yes.
How does that influence your comedy?
I love the way rappers, underground rappers at least, they market themselves and how they still have their ear on the ground for like just what's innovative and what's like really what's happening, And I feel like comedy is so stuck in the 80s right now. It's so corny. Everybody's website sucks to me. I don't like it. I'm getting sick of it. I don't even like late night sets because they just watered down versions of my favorite comics and stuff like that. And I just feel like hip hop, they're so respected. Like you look at any like rap concert on like late night versus a stand up set. What are you gonna watch? I'm gonna watch Run the Jewels. All right, they're just so much better. I just feel like it's just not. It's gonna get better. I think. I'm so bored with it, and I feel like there needs to be a resurgence. And
the
like,
rawness isn't there for you.
Not in live stand up for like TV at least. I don't like it. I get bored easily watching it, and it's not true because like it shouldn't feel that way because live stand up is the best form of entertainment ever. It cuts the middleman. It's just raw thoughts and emotion. And you never get that with any type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like live TV it doesn't get it. Even with like stand up specials, I feel like they're just. I don't know. I just feel like some of them. I see a lot of my favorite stand-ups do specials, and I go, that wasn't how I wanted to feel live.
You did your special quite differently.
Yeah, I got influenced by watching Purple Onion, Live at the Purple Onion about Zach Galifianakis and how he did his, and I love like how it just not even just the stand up. The stand up is amazing. It's like the best set I've ever seen live. Period. I mean not live, but like in a special. And not only that, the whole format of it was gorgeous. Like the interviews, Brian Unger was that his name? I forgot his name. Mark Unger? I forgot his name. Anyway, so like that was hilarious, and I always thought that was an underrated special, like criminally underrated. And I've always wanted to do something like that, but with my life.
And make it a little bit more personal.
Yes, way more personal and less characters because he had his brother Seth on it, which is amazing. I love that. And I just wanted to do something like that. And I just felt like I don't know, with specials and stuff, I feel like comics they don't get personal enough like they used to back in the 70s and the 80s and stuff. I missed it.
We're running out of time,
No
but before I let you go, I understand you love pranks.
A lot.
And I want to know your best prank.
It's on the special actually. I did a really racist prank to a friend of mine. Any black guy should do it to their white friend. I remember when we were driving from DC. I was 19. My buddy Will was driving, and we stopped at a red light. I see a group of black guys about to cross the street, so I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." So I rolled the window down and I yelled out, "Cross the street faster, you monkeys!" And I ducked my head. I just ducked it, and I can feel the heat like between those dudes in the street and Will. And I'm like, "Oh man, they gonna kill you, Will." And Will's like, "Oh man, why you say that, man?" I'm like, "They gonna kill you, man. It's gonna be great." And I thought the dudes already walked away, so I picked my head back up, but they were still in the middle of the street. And I was like, "Uh-oh," and they were looking at me like, "What? Ew. Oh, ew," because it looked like I was giving, mouth love to a man. That was he's like, "That's
It's
progressive."
like double complicated
Yeah. It's like, I don't
situation
know
right
if he's
now.
racist or he just really was just as fans of us. I don't know. So that was that's what happened, man. That was my favorite thing I've ever done. Try it, Canada. Do it.
Comedian Jermaine Fowler, thank you so much.
Thank you.